Of the teachers rally. Everyone is down here on Halifax Mall. Just listening to a few speakers take the stage and address some of the reasons for why a lot of this crowd is out here today. Just a few short moments ago, Governor Roy Cooper, he was on stage energizing the crowd just with a few passionate bullet points for what he wanted to stress here to this sea of red. What the governor also ended up addressing was Tuesday's fatal shooting on the campus of UNC Charlotte. The governor mentioned he was there last night, took the stage today, and then also said straight from this stage he was going to go back down to Charlotte. And one thing that the governor said that ended up receiving a huge round of applause here was the issue of arming our teachers with guns in the classroom. The governor saying that that's something that he is absolutely against, which ended up getting a huge round of applause here from the audience here on Halifax Mall. But again, literally thousands of folks down here, teachers, supporters, educators, still with signs. So we just have one here that says, "Just listen so we don't have to do this again next year." So on stage now, there's a teacher, I believe, from the Asheville area, and directly following her, we'll have former NAACP, North Carolina NAACP President, Reverend Dr. William Barber. He's on stage. He's set to speak just after this young woman ends up addressing the crowd. But it's been an all-day event. As I said, thousands. In just probably about 15 or 20 minutes or so, we should end up seeing a couple of different regions. They got about 6 different regions here of school districts broken up. We should see representatives from a couple of those regions enter the General Assembly here behind me and meet with some of the lawmakers inside, just be able to lobby and push their agenda forward. Now, earlier, just a short moment ago, I ended up seeing Mark Jewell. I see him here in the middle of an interview now. I wanted to reach out to him and ask him just specifically kind of how this has turned out. So we do have one of our elected officials, Floyd McKissick, running over. So I want to grab a couple of quick moments with him and ask him a couple of quick questions. How you doing? Hey, do you mind if I just chat with you real quick about how you feel about this turnout today?
It's amazing. It's so totally impressive to see all these passionate advocates for education. It has to make a difference.
What do you say to your folks on the other side of the aisle who are basically kind of making it difficult for these folks to be able to get what they want? What do you say to the other folks on the other side of the aisle?
It's time for them to listen to the voices of educators and people across this state that understand the needs of our teachers, understand the needs of our principals, understand the need to have school psychologists and counselors in our schools, understand there's a need for everybody in our schools, including cafeteria workers, to make a decent, livable wage. Understand that this must be a priority. We can't make it something that we put on the back burner.
So for anyone who doesn't have a seat over in the General Assembly, what would you say to them about the difficulty in basically, I guess, if you will, finding common ground to make sure that they're satisfied?
It's difficult to do, but you have to hold people accountable. Regardless of their party affiliation, call that elected representative, let them know how you feel, come out and see them, speak to them, meet them in their districts, and say, this is what North Carolina needs. Put our children, put our education first and foremost. It levelizes the playing field for everyone, regardless of opportunity, regardless of background. That's what this whole movement is about.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one. So I want to go ahead and find Mark Jewell here, NCIE president, who led the march down here from the headquarters for NCIE all the way down to Halifax Mall. Mark, Dewan Hogard, ABC 11, good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Absolutely. Tell me how things are going today.
Absolutely. We couldn't be prouder at this huge record turnout for the second year in a row on behalf of North Carolina's public school students. This is a beautiful crowd of a diverse population. These are Democrats and Republicans from every walk of life, but they are not impressed with what's happened in public education over the last 6 to 10 years in North Carolina. They believe that we need to have textbooks. They believe that we need to have student resources. They believe that we need to be paid fairly and competitively. They believe that we need to have guidance, school counselors and social workers, and reinvest in all of those support systems that address the social and emotional health of our students. So, very proud of what's going on right here. The governor was here earlier talking about his commitment to public education. education. We've heard from social workers, from teachers, from retirees who are saying, we need a cost of living raise. We need to make sure that the General Assembly listens to these key priorities here. Last year, May 16th, was obviously about changing the policymakers. Now it's time to change the policy.
So we've had Governor Cooper, we've had Dr. William Barber. He's set to go on stage in just a few moments.
Yeah.
You have a lot of supporters out here. These folks are optimistic. How do you keep them energized when what comes out of there doesn't necessarily match what you guys are asking
That
for?
is a very good question. This is the very long session, right? The House has put out their budget. More details are going to be coming out today, but we know that the Senate has to also weigh in on this. So we're urging everyone to make sure that they stay connected, that they stay connected to their legislators, that they stay connected with each other, that they start contacting each other. And you know what? If it comes back in June and July and we have to come back again, we're going to be here, because we cannot take another budget that de-invest in public education. So we need strong investments, and we need to make sure that we make North Carolina a world-class public school system again.
What do you say to the folks who are saying you guys are wasting your time, asking too much? If you didn't like it, pick a different profession. What do you say to those folks?
We tell people right now, I said, really since 2013, the General Assembly has been making investments in corporate tax cuts over the public school classroom. We are urging the General Assembly to say, listen, you've got to start reinvesting. They listened to us, when we marched here last year, and that's when we made changes in the General Assembly. So right now we hear legislators saying on both sides of the aisle, let's talk about master's degree pay. Let's put that back in the budget. Let us talk about giving pay raises to our classified employees and to our classroom teachers. Let's talk about expanding Medicaid. So those conversations are happening right now. So we just need to make sure that they come out when we pass the budget in June or July of 2019. So this is really just the beginning of a very long process.
Mark, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you covering the story. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
So again, down here at Halifax Mall, that's just kind of just a general lay of the land for what we're experiencing down here. Still thousands of folks from across the state, and at last check, we had just about 34 school districts across the state cancel their classes today. So teachers, support staff, educators, well-wishers could come down here and participate here in this rally. So roughly in about 15 minutes or so, we'll still find folks from the different regions go inside the General Assembly, where they actually already are, and meet with their elected officials and be able to sit down with them one-on-one and lobby or push for some of the agenda that brought folks down here today. So again, just a sea of red down here on Halifax Mall in downtown Raleigh. And again, an educator from Asheville's on stage now, and directly behind her to take the stage should be former NAACP, North Carolina NAACP President, Reverend Dr. William Barber, will be addressing the crowd in just a few short moments. So we're going to continue walking around the crowd, chatting with folks, and getting another lay of the land, just kind of find out a little bit more about what's going on. But you are watching the ABC 11 Eyewitness News live feed of this teachers rally on Halifax Mall. We're going to go ahead and continue following the latest developments here.